What a do, baby. What's up, Connor Rain? How are you today?
I'm good.
Happy Friday, sweet thing. She just
Happy Friday.
Yeah. Hey, today was Connor's last day at work today. She's done. Woohoo! No more work. That's what
I
I'm
don't think
talking.
any of my coworkers are ever gonna watch this, but
Well, if you do, surprise!
I ain't go back.
Connor's not coming back to work, which is so exciting, bro. We've been waiting for that forever.
Imagine my boss is like watching this.
Surprise, bucko. We ain't coming back.
This.
That is what it is. Most people don't. That's okay. Sometimes it gets people to watch afterwards. And for those of you guys, you're great, but I wish you'd hit that follow button because we're only 18 followers away from being a Twitch affiliate.
Yeah, and we've been saying 18 followers away for like the last 5 streams, which is getting embarrassing. And if you could stop embarrassing us.
Yeah, you guys stop embarrassing us.
Stop.
I will continue. I'm a husband. My job is to embarrass. That's what we do. But if you are unfamiliar with us, thanks for coming by. We are Solely Switch, where our souls have made the switch.
To Christ.
Bars, Cuddy. Yes, Solely Switch. Our souls have made the switch. We was on the dark side, but now it's opposite. Hop off on my ops like I just popped a zit. Ooh, big body like I'm Majan Spopovich. You know who that is?
No.
Majan Spopovich? You know the guy that beat up Vidal? Alright, anyway.
Vidal, like, from Dragon Ball?
Yeah, dude, he bodied her. It was pretty bad. It's probably the most gruesome fight scene in that
She's
show.
She's just a little girl.
And yeah, but that's why I said big body like I'm Majan Spopovich.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, see, bars, you know what I'm talking
By
about?
the way, I was never on the dark side.
Ooh, I was.
Well,
that's alright. We've changed it over. We're good.
There was like one summer where I was like, what's this manifesting thing about? And then I was like, maybe I can get $1 million and a boyfriend.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you?
It took a while, but
it takes a while. Yeah, it takes a while. It's almost like it takes work or something to get the things that you like. Isn't that weird? Because you can manifest it all day long, but like, you know, it's so funny. It's, I guess, like, it's the word choices are kind of what messes you up a little bit. Because what's
so funny. This one girl, she was like big on that stuff. This was years ago, but she was like, I literally manifested my hair growth, and 4 years later, it's exactly where I want it to be. And it's like,
that's crazy.
That's how long hair takes.
That's almost like your hair just grows naturally. It's unbelievable, bro. You can't write this stuff. You can't. It's unbelievable.
It's pretty funny. I have mango lemonade.
Mango lemonade tonight. We did this puzzle last time we were here, and it was a pain. So last time we started this dungeon... Oh, yeah, we didn't full screen.
You're so silly.
Last time we started this dungeon, we ran into a crash. Our switch just decided to turn off.
Yeah.
So we're here.
It was bedtime anyway.
Hey, first try? Alright, so... I think it's funny that we started this whole thing off with manifesting. I titled the... The title of the stream is Let's Talk Religion. Ooh, spicy. So, what, when it comes to manifestation, honestly, it's so funny because in some ways, like, you more or less do manifest things, right? But it's the verbiage there, the word choices that just make it so stupid. Because I don't manifest anything, right? Like I can't. Why isn't that falling into that pit? I can't manifest anything, and neither can you, right? Just die, bro. I'm gonna die. I'm dead. But it's funny because work is really what creates all things, right? It's almost like, I don't know, the Bible told the truth that if you want to get some bread, you got to earn it by the sweat of your brow. And like saying that you manifest things is just so silly to me because it's like, did you manifest the bread? Did you manifest the wheat? Or did you put a seed in the ground and let the sunshine hit it, and you watered it, and you went outside and you picked some wheat?
No, but that's literally how most people put it though. It's like they'll do something.
Oh no.
And then like they'll put the seed in the ground and go,
You're crazy. Well, alright, let me be nice. Let me be nice.
One time I really, because I was spiraling that summer. Spiraling. I was leaving the religion that I grew up in and not sure about Christianity because it's like, well, this is what I've been taught is the truth my whole entire life. It's the only truth. There's nothing else that's true. And if I'm finding out that this isn't true, then what if none of it's true? And God's not real, which is a horrible place to be in, like a horrible thought to have.
It's not my favorite place.
No, that's terrible. Super glad I came out of that, but I literally sat there thinking, like, one morning, I really would like this. I was manifesting a cup of coffee, and somebody brought me a cup of coffee like an hour later, and I was like, oh my god, it is real. Which, you look for proof
in all things.
In all things,
regardless.
Yeah,
it don't matter.
So might as well look for proof in God. You'll find it.
You will find it, yeah, exactly. If you look hard enough for anything in this world, bro, you'll find it.
Yes.
It don't matter what it is. Which is both a blessing and a scary situation at the same time. But now it is a scary place to be, man, because especially once you get a little bit of taste of the possibilities, or dare I even say the powers of some things like that, because there's got to be some bit of truth to it, right? Like, regardless of what you think of, whether you're not a Christian, you are a Christian, if you're a Satanist, whatever, if you're being honest, if you have a mass amount of people, you know, a humongous crowd of people, and they're all swearing to some type of belief or some type of experience, I think it's kind of silly just to write it off like as if they're all lying about something, right? So, you know, you have so many people that are saying, oh wow, you know, Christianity gives me this feeling and I'm feeling the Holy Spirit, etc., etc. And you have millions and millions of people saying it. Now, are some of them just feeling feelings of excitement? That might be true, you know what I mean? There could be some truth to that. But it's the same thing as, like, you know, people who, what's the word I'm looking for? They have these spiritual moments when they take ayahuasca or some things like that, you know, some type of psychedelic. And you can look at it and say, well, these guys are just on drugs, bro. And yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. But if you have a lot of people claiming to have some type of experience, I think it's kind of silly to write them all off as just a bunch of lies. You know what I mean? I don't think, especially because there's so many scrutinous people in the world, myself included, who a lot of times will look at something that a lot of people are swearing by, and I will try it just to say you're wrong. Like, I promise you, I more than likely don't like your favorite TV show. Whatever your favorite TV show, I probably hate it. Just because so many other people say that they like it. You know what I mean? And so, these little mass, I don't want to call it mass hysteria. What would you call that? Massive opinions? I don't even know what you'd call that, but there's some value to them, is what I'm getting at here. There's that treasure chest. I need to get a hold of that. Let's see what's over this way. I couldn't do anything here, right? Yeah, there's nothing you can do here. Alright, what we got? We haven't found the map yet, so we need to go ahead and go down. Kia! Going down. Found nothing. Great. Alright, we'll fall down this way. I think this is the map right here. No, it's a power board. Fantastic. Great. Okie dokie artichoke. But yeah, I don't know. In some ways, I hate to say it like this because it just seems like such an arrogant thing to say. But like, who are you? Like, what do you think you are that you can manifest something just by your own words and will and power? Like there's limitations to that stuff, right? So like, even if there is some truth in this, what I would call this doctrine of a devil, what if you like wanted to manifest more height to your body? You know what I mean? You can't do that. You know, you can't do that at all. And I'm kind of hijacking a verse from Jesus there, where he's like, bro, you can't like add 1 inch to your height. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, that's a Jesus bar there.
Well, you know, when I was a kid, I thought my feet were too big. And then I was like, I wish they weren't. And then they shrunk half the size. But I think that's just because bodies do weird stuff.
I don't know, man, because here's the thing. Again, like I just said, you have a lot of people that claim this. And so there may be some type of truth to this, but all I'm trying to do is just explore its limitations, right?
Yeah, it's not... It can't... Because I don't want to say, like, all these people are crazy, but,
I mean,
like...
I'm not going to say that.
Yeah. But at the same time... I think there's... that your brain can do some crazy stuff.
Your brain can do some crazy stuff.
I think there's a lot of mind over matter stuff. But, yeah, no, it's just not real.
But where does it come from, man? Does it come from, like, this need to have some type of power, some type of say in this chaotic world that we live in, where there's so much stuff out of your control? You know, does it come from a place where you're just like, God, if I can just have one thing that I can be in control over, you know?
Yeah. It definitely comes from a place of, like, desperation. And I think one of the things that they teach, I don't know if it's been years, but one of the things that they teach and study is, like, getting rid of your ego. And I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that to an extent.
No,
but
I don't have a problem with that at all. And
yeah.
if you, in the world of martial arts, that's like a big deal that everybody talks about, is leave your ego at the door. And I think that's important for whatever you're talking about, whatever you're doing.
But ego also...
I don't think I've fallen down.
A little bit of ego is just having a sense of self. Because then you start going into, we're all connected.
I already did do this room. Crap. It sucks. Well, I mean, alright. This might sound silly. In some ways, like... I got no scripture for this one, but in some ways it does kind of feel like we are all connected in some type of way, right? There is data that does suggest that, like, you know, you take a bunch of people and one of them starts to learn a new skill, right? They've taught themselves how to weave or whatever. And then they take that skill and they teach it to a couple more people, etc., etc. And then down the line, it becomes easier to learn, right? Your first couple of people had a struggle trying to figure out what it is you're trying to teach them. And then down the line, you know, people come around and they never saw you teach, they never saw you learn, they're completely blind to the entire situation and scenario, and yet for some reason they seem to just pick it up easier. There is some type of truth to that. Now, does that mean that we're all connected, bro, and like this collective consciousness? Like, I don't know. That's far beyond my understanding of how anything works in this world. I'm pretty sure I dropped down there too. There is a room that I'm supposed to find that I know that I got close to finding, but I did not get to find. And it is absolutely killing me. That's top left. Alright, I think I'm supposed to drop down this hole again. Because I know I have a key. And this key is going to take me to where I need to go. So let's just go ahead and drop down here. Come this way. Take this left. And this should be my key right here. Bombed at 50 damage, that's crazy. Yay! Alright, this is the farthest we've gotten this, I'm about to say dojo, in this dungeon so far.
You're so funny.
I know, man. I'm a hoot. Mini boss!
So that was our hot take on the Old Testament.
I could talk about it all day, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Well, that wasn't something you ever dabbled in.
Yeah, it sure
It
was.
was. I know
I was
you...
doing that long before it was cool.
Yeah.
For real.
I was too. You remember when we had like separate MP3 players? Like,
Separate from
well, I
what?
mean, we record, but like it wasn't on your phone. You had like an iPod or
Yes.
like a
Yes, I do
off-brand.
indeed remember 2010.
Yes. Whenever I was on those listening and it was on shuffle, I'd be like, this song would be go next, and then it would come on. And I really thought I had like, it's like,
I hate to be that Christian because one of the things I really don't like it when Christians do is when they just blame everything on Satan, right? But it's like, it's hard not to be like, is that just Satan messing with you, man?
well, yeah, exactly right. On the other hand,
Or is it just a coincidence?
I also don't like when, I don't know if I'm wrong for this, but somebody at work the other day was talking about, oh, it's God's plan. When you say like everything is part of God's plan, I'm like, God probably ain't have nothing to do with that. Like bad things.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
You know?
I
mean,
don't know. It's so tricky, bro, because there is that verse to say, you know, we know that all things work for the betterment for those who believe God and for those who trust God. And like, you end up running into this almost, what do you call it, like a theological, philosophical battle where it's like, how involved is he in the inner workings of both life and just the world? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
but
how involved is he?
this was also in regards to our dog viciously murdering that cat.
Okay. Okay, here's a verse that often never
don't
gets
think
talked
he did
about,
that.
and that kind of bothers me, is that this
Yeah.
verse often gets overlooked, is that time and chance happens to us all. And that comes from the book of Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
Time and chance happens to us all.
Like, that's just
And-
nature. I mean, maybe he
Does
had
that
something to
mean-
do with
yeah.
setting up nature, but like, that was all her. And that wasn't Satan the devil either. That was just
A dog being a
a
dog,
dog
man.
being a dog, yeah.
And that's the thing, it's like, it's kind of hard for me because
I'm still really sad
I was
about it,
raised
by the way.
in that, like, what's the word I'm looking for? A very much,
How are you doing
I just got the superpower a second ago.
that? Wow.
We're
Go
fighting
ahead,
that mini
Brian.
boss.
What you're
I was raised in a very charismatic style Christianity, right? The non-denominational Pentecostal.
They're like
Yeah.
hollering and
Yeah. And so a lot of stuff is very much spiritual in that, at least where I come from. I'm not speaking for all Pentecostal churches, I can't do that. But at least where I came from, there was a lot of, you know, it is the devil, or it is this, or everything's a demon, or this and that. And so trying to find some type of balance between that is really difficult if there is a need for it, right? So what I'm trying to say is yes, time and chance happens to us all, right? How much of that time and chance is persuaded by the Most High and everything that he does? How much of this stuff is actually just kind of what he's left under the tutelage? What's the tutelage? Not the tutelage.
that's a funny word.
Under the, I don't know, the watchful eye of his angels. You know what I'm saying? You know, they may be in charge of certain things, or be in charge to watch certain things. Can I walk on that now? Ooh, cool.
Ooh.
Alright, do I have another key though? Because I feel like I have another key.
It's locked.
It's locked. Oh.
Look.
Nikolai, buddy, I don't know if we have any more keys. Oh, I know what to do. I don't remember what I was saying, but yeah.
The angels.
Yeah, that they may have charge over certain things. You can't go up there. I know I've been in that room before. How did I get there? And they do have certain charge over things, you know what I'm saying? And so we just don't know how much they do have charge over, you know? What is it? And is there, how much involvement, I guess is really the correct way to ask this question. How much involvement is the spiritual into just your every day-to-day life, you know? And in this room, I need the room that's got the giant pillar with the treasure chest on it, bro. I've seen this room, I've been in this room. I just gotta build up enough ice cubes to get me stacked up to get on top of that pillar. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So don't fall down to the left, let's fall down to the right and see if that helps us here. And the truth of the matter is that nobody will ever know. I just don't think you can know. There are certain inner workings that are most certainly obvious, you know what I'm saying? Who is it? Is it Samuel? Is it Samuel or is it Elijah? Somebody lays on a little kid who has died, and the little baby comes back to life, right? It's not a baby, but it's a kid.
Samuel.
It is Samuel, isn't it?
Right. Well, it didn't, unless it happened twice. They threw his body in.
That's Elijah.
Oh, that's Elijah. No, then that would be. Then it does happen twice, doesn't it? 'Cause this happens with Samuel too.
It's just a little kiddo that's sick, and he lays on top of the kiddo, and then the kiddo comes back to life. My point in saying that is that's an obvious thing. All right, nobody that I've ever heard of has just straight up manifested somebody back to life. You know what I'm saying? That's something that God obviously had some inner workings in, and when it comes to miracles and things of the spirit, that's going to be something that I would also, just me being a normal old dude with who knows, I don't know anything about anything in life. Anything like that I would put under the will of the Father, because why wouldn't it be, right? If it wasn't something that the Father had a say in, it probably wouldn't happen. Otherwise, we would all just be bringing back to life. We would all be healing everybody that got sick, and everybody that's got cancer, we'd heal them. And that would be such a great and beautiful thing. But what we see, what is obvious, it's Elijah. What we see, what is evident to us by simple observation in life, is that is simply not the case. You know what I'm saying? We can't just, pray the sick away for everybody. It just doesn't happen, unfortunately. So I think those type of things you can label under God certainly had a say and had a toll. Death, on the other hand, I just don't know. There is also a verse in either Proverbs or Ecclesiastes, I think it's Ecclesiastes, that says, why would you rid yourself before the time, in reference to like your death, right? Like, why in the world would you end this thing before it was your time to go? And so, there is some free will there, right? Like, we do have a choice in saying, everybody has a time appointed for life and appointed for death, but it seems like you can just kind of clock out if you want to, and it may not be of the will of the Father to do so. I mean, that's just what it seems like to me, that you do have a time, and so there are certain times where you do have a say and have a choice. And so what I'm kind of balancing out here is really the real question. It's not, is manifesting real or is it not real, but it's just how much involvement does the kingdom of heaven have within your every single day life, And at the same time, that's also kind of an ignorant question, because it automatically puts borders and constraints on it, which is something that humans love to do, myself included. We love to look at things and say, well, it will work if you do this, but it won't work if you do that. And we simply just don't know if that's the case or not. God might just look at it and say, hey, you know what? This one I'm going to get involved with, and the next one he looks at it and goes, let it play out. I don't know. And I don't think anybody else does either. So I don't think it's a safe thing to do to just walk around claiming, is this the room? This is the room. Goodness gracious, I was right next to the room. How sad is that? Whoa, you can hit him? That's cool. Hey, alright, there's a key. Beautiful. Now we just run back across this. Excellent, my friends. We are so close to finishing this dungeon, I think. Why is he not dying? Thank you. So what are you looking for, like a Christian Reddit?
Oh, I have been looking at Reddit a lot lately and reading.
No, we just got a boss key. Once we finish this dungeon, it'll be time to hook up with Forrest and Tessa.
Really?
So you want to try talking about one now? Run a little testeroo?
One?
Yeah, hit me with one.
I can find, but here's my thing. So
All right, let me hear your thing.
I do follow a lot of the like AITAH ones.
Not a clue what that is.
It's the Am I the A-hole?
Oh, gotcha.
But so like when people have clean channels, they come up with a different word for that.
Okay.
So it's not, but
Yeah, well, I am still trying to appease safe streamers here, so let's
yeah, and I don't want to think about it. But here's my thing. So like there was a teacher that would sometimes read these about like teacher
a
stuff.
school teacher?
Like a school, like kid's school teacher, yeah. And she would say, "Am I the bad apple?" Which is
That'll work.
super. No,
Is that what we're
we
doing?
can
Is a bad
steal
apple?
from her?
Oh, I don't care. Am I the sour grape? All right, let's go.
No, wait. I thought.
Whoa.
Isn't there a bad guy in the Bible that starts with A? Or like, am I the
Ahab.
Azazel?
Ahab.
Ahab?
Yeah,
Am I
it's
the Ahab?
This is Jezebel's husband.
You like that one?
I mean, I guess. What am I supposed to do? Yo!
I just don't want to do anything wrong.
Help. Can I hit you? Yeah, I can hit you. Okay.
A lot of these are really long. I can give you...
Oh, this guy ain't so bad. I'll just spam the B button. I don't know if I'm doing any damage to him at all. I don't think so.
Are you feeling like you want to give advice?
Advice? Who am I to give advice? I'm just a normal little dude who knows
It's not
nothing
that
about
people
life.
are ever gonna
I guess
give
that's true.
advice. You're not famous.
Is this working? Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe I'm just overthinking this boss because he's actually giving me a hard time here. I have no idea if what I'm doing is actually working here. Oh, yeah, no, that's the trick. Hit it with the fire. Yep, we figured that out. Oh yeah, fire's the trick there. Okay, you can't go down. Let's heal just in case. Right! Look at this big old... I wish I put in this door.
Crush that idol.
Crush that idol. Welcome back to another episode of Crush That Idol! Look at me standing on top of you, you loser.
I can give you a choice.
A choice.
Yeah. I've read one of them and haven't fully read the other one.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I didn't realize this was happening.
Oh!
She got sick?
Yes. The doctors say there's not much time left.
Natasha.
Manifest your healing.
Please, Nikolai. Please. Do not despair. Promise me. Promise me. No matter how many times you fall, you will always get back up again.
I don't know if I can do it, Natasha. I don't know if I can...
Nikolai, I am going to my father's house. where there will be no sighing, no tears, no sorrow. I will enjoy the light of my beloved Christ. Please, Nikolai, you must promise me. Promise me that you will fight. Do not let my death throw you into despair. If you fight, I know we will see each other again in the most beautiful place, in paradise.
Okay. I promise.
Now see, we will be together again. Have faith, love.
I'm sad.
Wasn't ready for that.
I mean, I feel like we talked about it.
No, I mean, like, I was busy yapping and running my gums, and I wasn't ready for that scene, and so I wasn't able to appreciate it the way that I know that I should have. And that kind of disappoints me, because the team did a really good job with it. That slow fade out was clean.
I appreciated it, because I wasn't really listening to you.
Hey, I found a treasure chest, alright.
To help me on my quest.
Good job.
Whoa!
Oh, he's lonely.
Yeah, okay, so here's the deal, is that from what I understand, Christian Quest, I think is what it's called, is a prequel to this game. Because what I was thinking of the whole time is like, okay, yes, it is very sad that she's passed away. I'm very sorry.
Tea that you're spilling?
Tea?
Yeah, like, is this
No,
public
I'm not spilling.
information? Or are you spilling tea?
No, I'm not spilling any tea. It's public information.
Okay.
Is that from what I understand, Christian Quest is a prequel to this game and it's not out yet. And so my question was, like, if I didn't know that Christian Quest existed, I would have a little bit of a confusion here, simply because, like, okay, she's dead. What are you doing right now? What is all of this? You know what I mean? You had a life, you had a farm, you guys got married. You didn't have any kiddos, it doesn't look like. But then she's passed. What are you doing right now? Where are you? Because the game started off with him just like running up into the dragon's place and being like, hey, we finna scrap. And the dragon was like, haha, you gotta feed my robots first. And now I beat all of his robots. But my question is why did this start? Why are you even fighting this guy? What? You know, it seems like she just got sick. It doesn't seem like the dragon is to blame for why she passed. So I'm just curious as to what his motivations are.
Well, he hates idols. He's tearing them down.
And good for him. You know, as do I. But I just want to know what happened. That's all I'm saying. And so maybe we get a little bit of knowledge with that prequel there. That's all I'm saying. Alright, read me that little Reddit thing you got.
Well, I'll give you a choice.
Alright, give me a choice.
Okay. Hold on. Let me make sure I don't lose these. Okay. So...
Say it nice and loud so the microphone can hear you.
Oops. It's... Am I the Ahab for telling my wife if she converts to Islam, I'm divorcing her? Or... am I the Ahab for calling out my husband for not being a good Christian?
Oh, this is a toughie. Because I want to do them both.
Well, if we have time, we can do both, but...
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's...
Which one do you want to do first?
I feel like... Oh, no. I feel like Forrest and Tessa would really probably enjoy the second one. So I don't want to do it without them. So let's do the first one together.
Okay. Let me scroll back down. Alright. So like I said, am I the Ahab for telling my wife if she converts to Islam, I'm divorcing her? been married 4 years and together for 7. No ages mentioned. Love my wife with all my heart. We started dating back in high school and have been inseparable since.
Oh, since high school? How long have they been together, you said?
7 years, so that means
okay, so they're not
early
much
20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been married for 4 years, so...
Oh, you guys, you're just kids, bro.
Yeah. Okay, but you should let me finish the story.
I'm with you.
Back when we first started dating, she was a Christian. I am an atheist and not super thrilled about religion in general. Well, she ended up falling out of Christianity after a couple years of dating and has gone with the agnostic label since. The last handful of months, though, she seemed to be interested in Islam. She'd watch YouTube videos about it, and I noticed she had a Quran app on her phone. I asked her what was going on. She said she's been feeling a call to be Muslim. I asked her how and why.
How? Great question, bro.
And she said she saw some videos of a street preacher and it made her look into it. Now she says it connects to her more than Christianity did. Okay. She's the type who goes through a lot of phases, so
sounds like it.
Sorry. So I assumed it was just a phase and short-term interest. Well, the other day, she came up to me and said she wanted to get a prayer mat and wanted to try wearing a hijab. We live right outside Dearborn, Michigan, which is one of the largest hubs of Muslims outside of the Middle East. She asked if I'd want to go with her to pick them up or if I'd be okay with these things. I told her that I'm not comfortable with it, and I would probably want to separate if she started wearing a hijab especially.
Okay, bro.
She got pretty sad. I said that and asked why. His writing gets crazy here. And told her I'm not interested in being with someone who is religious, especially not someone who is visibly religious to the point they won't show their hair. She said she understands why I might not like it, but threatening to divorce over it means that I don't love her. I do love her, but I'm not willing to become a part of the Muslim community or be with a woman who wears a hijab or someone who would have to start eating halal and stop and pray multiple times a day.
Oh, it's good for you, bro. You should do that. You should eat halal.
Christianity was okay because she wasn't overtly religious and was already winning in it by the time we started dating. She says she doesn't know what she wants to pursue, but is really upset that I'd leave her if she chose to fully convert to Islam.
Alright, bro. Look, here's the thing, dog. If your wife goes through all these little stages, which I believe you, if she just feels like calling to do something because she saw some video on YouTube, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say you're a weirdo for that, but like, you know, flippy floppy through all these religions and stuff to me is like, it doesn't really mean anything to you. You know what I mean? You're flipping from Christianity to agnostic to Islam. And what's it gonna be? Whoa. What's it gonna be next? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't really appreciate, you know, how sacred these religions are. At least, whoa! At least I don't think you do. Because if you did, you would give them great consideration and take, you know, a lot of time to consider what you're doing before you just run around and start converting to something new. I don't know, man. But
Do you
the
think
answer
it's just a phase for her?
Well, the thing is, that's not the question. The question is are you the Ahab? And yeah, I kind of think you are. You know what I'm saying?
Agree.
You yourself said that your wife, you know, goes through these little phases and stuff. So like, bro, it'll pass, dog. It's not gonna be a big deal, and you know it's not gonna be a big deal. You're more or less than whoa.
What do you think about the head covering comment? I think that's a little bit extreme and kind of racist, but...
You think so?
I also think it'd be
Look,
weird.
bro, he's kind of embarrassed. Look, if you dyed your hair blue and was walking around with like blue pigtails around, I'd be like, oh my gosh, dude, act your age. You're 27.
No offense
You know
to
what I mean?
anyone who voted for Harris.
You know what I mean? That's just kind of how I feel about it. Like, I don't know, call me a jerk or whatever if you want to. But I do kind of understand that, because it's like, okay, I don't think it has as much to do with the hijab as it does, like, oh God, this is my woman. Everywhere I go, she's got a new religion, a new belief. She's a zealot for something new.
It'd be awkward if she stopped doing it.
Yes. And like, what do I look like? Like, I look like I don't have my house in order as a man. Like,
Yeah.
so that comment is not what bothers me. What bothers me is it's just like, bro, just sit down with your wife, sit down with your lady, and be like, hey, dude, name 5 things about the Islamic faith. Name 5. You know what I mean? And let's just see what she can do.
So you just think she's just not?
No, it's
serious.
just another thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just another thing.
Like,
And it's an easy thing to
weekend.
do, okay? It's a really easy thing to do. It's not like, and what I'll explain what I mean by that in a second. All right. If you want to take time out of your entire weekend, every weekend, to go down to the homeless shelter, that takes time. It takes money for you to take that gas and to make that trip. You know, and you get, then you've earned the right to virtue signal on how you've helped the homeless or whatever. And
Yeah.
you've done nothing just to be like, I'm Muslim. You know, look how cool I am. Because you look at it, more than likely, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that you are a white woman. And you probably look at this and you're like, oh, it's like a minority faith. And it's something that is often discriminated against. And you can't wait to be a part of that side so that you can play this victim card that you're so special and so unique that I've converted to Islam. Look, I could be wrong on all the things I just assumed. But it's really giving that type of energy that you
Yeah.
want the attention so bad you can't wait to put this hijab
Well,
on.
if they do have like a really large community,
in the area,
in the area.
that's a little bit different.
then
And he did say that, you're right.
yeah. So I mean, I kind of can understand like it's accessible, and like there are a lot of times when you're learning about a new religion, whether it's Islamic or Christian or just anything different, they can really make it seem like it's more appealing to you than whatever you were in before.
Sure.
Because it's new. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like he would be, but a lot of people are saying no. Like, you wouldn't be.
He's not the Ahab?
Yeah.
Let me hear an argument for why he's not the Ahab, because I
It's
think
not very good arguments. People get divorced for all kinds of reasons. If she changes from the person you married to a different person, you don't have to stay married.
That's lame.
Yeah,
Took an oath.
that's
lame.
If she converts to Islam, she'd probably be happier married to a Muslim anyway.
I mean,
I don't know.
you don't know that, bro. You got no. I mean, and again, that's easy to say because there's a lot of things I said that you could look at and be like, you don't know that, bro, and you are 100% right. I don't.
And then the comments under that say if she converts and OP doesn't, they're automatically divorced according to Islam. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if that's true either because you can say it's according to Islam, but like, what type of Islam are you talking about?
The tenets of her new religion nullify any marriage between a Muslim and a non-Muslim or a non-practicing whatever's. But then the person under that said Muslim women can only marry Muslim men and Muslim men can marry Christian or Jewish women and their children are automatically considered Muslim.
Okay,
It's a little sexist.
what type of Muslim are we talking about though? Like, cause
No, the-
I'm not a Quran guy. I've never
No.
read it. I've never taken the time to read it. And so to me, like, you can say, well, Christians
They're
are
already
supposed
married,
to take,
though.
yeah, Christians are supposed to take confession, and it's like, but that's not all Christians, right? You know what I'm saying? There's different types of the Muslim faith between your,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, according to the Bible, it's kind of, it's not like that at all.
Where is the
But,
shop? I need to
um,
buy potions.
Your children are considered clean, whether it's the husband or the wife that believes in God, in Christ.
I would say up until they get to the age of responsibility, where it's,
Right.
you know.
But like when they're little, that's Paul, right?
I don't know if it's children because I know it says.
Yeah, because it's.
It talks about your spouse and saying that, you know, you can make one clean about the
But
other.
it says otherwise your children would be considered unclean, doesn't it?
I don't know
Is
about
it
that
not
part,
there?
Honor Rain.
It has.
Find that verse if you want to. But I mean, bro, if that was a verse, if it is a verse and I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But just imagine how easy of a target that is, and wonder why you haven't heard atheists be like, and so the children are unclean too? Your God just hates everybody. Like, I don't think God's gonna ever look at children unclean. You know what I'm saying? Because they're young and they're naive and they make bad decisions and they don't understand the consequences and implications of their actions. And so it'd be odd for them to say that your children are clean, because that would also imply that there are times your children aren't clean.
Hold on.
I'm spending money, dropping money, getting health potions. Lots of health potions.
Look at you.
What, was that right?
Yeah, no. 1 Corinthians 7:14. Don't come at me ever again.
Was I wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, read the verse and what are you reading from? KJV?
Yeah, I'm about to. I gotta open
This song is a
app.
banger, bro.
It says. This is all about marriage, this whole chapter. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
Yes.
Else were your children unclean, but now they are holy.
Okay. Alright.
Like, your children aren't half bad because
No,
one of you doesn't
it's-
believe in.
If we scrutinize this logically, alright, read it very slow for me one more time, please.
For the unbelieving husband
Yes.
is sanctified by the wife,
Right.
and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now they are holy.
Okay. I'm gonna present a little case here. Is that
And else basically means, like, otherwise your children are unclean.
yeah, alright, so let's put it this way.
That's exactly what I said.
No, hear me out. Listen to me.
You just put that in front of me.
Sorry. It's root beer. Listen to me. Let's say I have two parents. Neither of them are saved. Am I unclean? No. Because I got Jesus. And so I don't think this is in reference to the child. I think this is in reference to the making and creating of the child. Because this, the whole portion of this chapter has to do...
I'm not saying, like...
You get what I'm saying? If you got
No.
two parents that are non-believers, am I just unclean?
Well, if you don't... I mean...
As a 2-year-old in diapers who's never heard of Jesus Christ, am I unclean? Who has basically just not committed any willful, intentional sin. I'm just a
Well,
baby
that's
who's
just
given
an
to my
innocent
car.
baby.
But is
But
he unclean?
you're not sanctified. You're not saved.
Okay, no,
Are
but if
you?
I died in that moment, I would be.
And let me get that.
Because I'm not judged by the things I don't know. I'm judged by the things I do know. And at that age, all I know is cookie tastes good. Naps are fun. You don't understand the concepts of good and evil. Unless you want to take it to this crazy understanding of the soul has a certain nature to it. In which case, now we have certain people that can be born and just are physically can't be saved. Which can't be true because that means the sacrifice of Christ would be unavailable to us,
No.
to that individual.
That's not what I mean.
Exactly. So am I unclean because I have two parents that are not saved? No, I don't think this has to do with the sanctification
I just
and
feel like...
cleanliness of a child's soul.
No, but, like,
This is a good conversation.
does it kind of mean...
Something about, and if you don't have a
To
weapon
me,
to fight,
it just seems like it doesn't mean that you're... Like, if your dad's atheist and your mom's a Christian, it doesn't mean you're half atheist. Like, you...
No, because
You know what I
if
mean?
no, it wouldn't. Because what he
That's
says
what I'm
right
saying.
there, if you have one Christian parent and one non-Christian parent,
then
you would be
they're
clean.
covered, yeah.
You'd be clean. So what happens if you don't have either?
You just like them, I guess.
I don't know. I don't think so. I just don't think so. It does not. To me, that does not compute. I would need a really good argument to make. To me, we're talking about the actual creation of the child, the intercourse, the sanctity of the marriage, right? Because in reference to this verse, we're talking about salvation, if I'm not mistaken. We're talking about is the.
But that's what sin is.
Said it one more time. What are you saying? What did you
Like,
just say?
that's just what the scripture says.
What are you saying that the scripture is saying?
Or else your children would be unclean. So,
I understand that that's what it says, but if
Yeah.
we're just going to take one verse and say, well, that's what it says, then I'll go to Proverbs and say that there's no greater joy that a man can have other than to drink and be merry, and that in your youth you should drink alcohol and have a great time and party. There is so much greater things you can do in the life than do that, because I'm not going to cherry pick one verse. I'm going to use the entire Bible for context here.
Right.
And if I'm going to use the entire Bible for context here, those children wouldn't be deemed unclean in the eyes of God simply because their parents aren't saved.
I've never thought this deep on it. I just thought it meant like, or else your children aren't Christian if they're,
Okay, well,
that's just what I thought it meant. But now
if you're gonna make it as simple as that, then sure, yeah, your children are probably not gonna be Christian.
that's
Yes,
just how
very
I always
simple.
took it. But now you're making it deeper, and now I'm like, well, now I feel like I need to do more research
Well,
because
clean to me is a special word, right? Especially if we're talking about the KJV. All right, clean is something that means it can enter into the temple. All right, that's what cleanliness meant, and so
well, if you have no Christian parents, you can't just be a little hoodlum off the street going into the temple, can you?
if you have no Christian parents,
Like,
you
if
can't
both
just
your
be a-
parents are not sanctified, are you just gonna be a little non-Christian kid just going into the temple?
Okay, so
Or are they gonna be like,
when I
"Hey,
say
buddy?"
temple, when I say
Are
temple,
you talking about, like,
I was originally referring to like
We don't have
the
a temple.
temple, right?
Yeah, we
the,
don't-
the,
but
the
that's-
physical building, but that's not there anymore.
yeah, we don't have that.
And so the cleanliness is coming from the sacrifice of Christ and
Right.
your salvation. Remember, I wash you
Yeah.
clean as white like robes and all that stuff. And so to say that, and I'm not saying that this is what you're saying, but to say that not having Christian parents means that you can't enter the temple is synonymous with saying that not having Christian parents means that you can't be saved.
That's not what I think. Because
Can I make this jump, bro?
I feel like you can be, like,
Sure can.
not saved, but if you're, like, if you're a person, isn't there scripture saying that, like, you're not going to be held to what you don't know?
Indeed.
So then it's like you could be not technically saved. Was dreaming.
Man, I
You
can't believe
can
I just
be-
found this power core. I gotta go all the way back to this last minute.
You can be not saved. Whoa, are you dreaming? But still, like, there's room for you. There's mercy for you because, like, you didn't know.
Whoa! Yes, and that is very
so
true.
Then that would be what that's for. Is because if you had no Christian parents and you didn't know.
But you would know.
How if you're like 3?
Okay, now if you're 3, that's a difference. And yes, in which case I agree 110%. In which case, that wouldn't make you not clean because you could still get clean by Christ. And something that is unclean literally has to remain unclean. Like, this is why the law is so important to understand so that you can understand the New Testament, is because when you were unclean, you had to have a ceremonial washing or sometimes even wait 24 hours before you could end up into the kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Where you could go into the temple.
Yeah, they have like fresh
clothes or
on.
whatever. You had to do all sorts of different things depending on what your
You
uncleanness
had to wear your
was.
underpants.
And so when we're talking about unclean, right?
Yeah.
When we're referring to that with like end time salvation, like we're talking about the end of the end, like New Earth, New Jerusalem type stuff.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is if you were unclean, you're found unclean, you're not accepted in. Okay, that's the thing. Is unclean really represents like not salvation whatsoever. You know, the only people who get in that were just kind of unclean were the ones that sneak in over the fence, and Christ looks at them and goes, my friend, how did you get in here without a wedding garment? And then it says there'll be much weeping and gnashing of teeth. And so it's just vocabulary. Our disagreement here is the same thing Christians have been disagreeing about for like generations, is when you say unclean, what kind of unclean are you referring to, and what do you mean by that?
Because I never thought too deep on it. I just figured it was like...
I'm about to start thinking deep on where this blacksmith is. The hardest thing to find in this game is this blacksmith. Yeah, so that's kind of the thing, is that when you say unclean, you can say, oh, you are unclean until the evening, so you need to go wash your clothes so that you can get, you know, whatever. That's kind of Old Temple, Mosaic, Levitical law uncleanliness.
Well,
But then when we're talking about like, whoa,
you're not held accountable for your parents' sins.
No, you're not.
So, like, I don't... But now I'm confused, because I didn't mean for it to go this way.
This is a great... To me, I really enjoy this conversation.
I was right and you were wrong.
I really enjoy this type of talk,
You
though.
were like, I don't know about that. But it surely does say that. But now we're talking about what it means, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's just all about what you define clean as. Like, where are you talking about for clean,
Well,
and what does that imply?
well
And it's not that I'm arguing with you at all. This is the kind of conversation that is some of my favorite to have in regards to Christianity and biblical truth. Is, again, as I was kind of listing out the examples before, is that one clean is you can't enter into the temple today and you have to sit on the outer gates of the city. Another clean is hey, my soul has been made clean. I've been washed with the renewing.
Is Corinthians.
1 second, let me finish this. Hold on 1 second. I'm making a point here. If you are washed clean by like the renewal of Christ, and now you are saved, and then there's another section of I have been deemed as clean, and now I may enter into, you know, what do you want to call it, paradise or New Jerusalem, New Earth, whatever. And so just right there, we talked about 3 different versions of clean and what they represent and when they represent those things.
Well, if this is in 1 Corinthians,
Mm-hmm.
it was still temporary.
It sure was.
So, I mean, probably just that, right?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And that's the thing, is that you have to look at the context of the chapter, and what he's talking about so far is he's talking about salvation. That's kind of my whole point in all of this, is that if he's talking about salvation, which is what I thought he was talking about this entire time, if you go back a couple of verses, and he's saying, you know, he's talking a lot about marriage and saying, hey, you know, if you have one unbelieving husband and one believing wife, or vice versa, whatever, one is, you know, sanctified, one is cleansed, and the other, you know. And so you're kind of talking about salvation here, right? Or am I twisted on that?
The word sanctification is used to indicate separation to God. Is that true?
I mean, sort of, yeah, that's a kind of a great way to say that in some ways. Will you just go a couple verses back and just kind of back up, make sure that we're on the proper context here?
Okay. How far back should I go?
Just a couple verses. Just, you know, what is the subject matter? Are we talking about acceptance?
No, this is literally, this whole chapter is...
Him
now,
talking about marriage and sex.
Yeah, like it is good for a man not to touch a woman, that's verse 1. Avoid fornication, that's verse 2. Let every man have his own wife and every woman have her own husband.
Lest they should, you know, go into perversion or promiscuity.
Yeah. The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband.
And likewise the other.
Yep. So, like, you can't just do whatever you want. I speak this by permission and not of commandment.
Yeah, exactly. He's speaking of himself here, not the God's
Yeah.
telling him to speak here. And so to me, he's not...
This isn't like saying your
I
kids
really
aren't
feel like we're
saved.
talking about sex here, though. So we're talking about the act in which brought your children in. And saying that you were deemed... It's clean version of sex here. We had two believers. This is something that God looks at and goes, okay, you guys are cool to be having sex here. Or you have one believer, one non-believer, but they're married, and we're cool to be having sex here. And so it's a clean...
Well, yeah, because it's like, I say, therefore, to the unmarried and the widows, it's good for them if they abide even as I, so, like, to remain single.
Right.
Because Paul was single as a Pringle. And then, if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. Yeah. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband, but and if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband. Let not the husband put away his wife, but to the rest speak I, not the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And the woman which hath a husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now they are holy.
Okay, so let me clarify one thing. One thing is, I was wrong. We're not talking about salvation here.
No.
2, I don't know what that means. I really don't. The more I think about that and the more I wrestle with it, the more I twist it. It's like, okay, are we just talking about sex here? But it doesn't seem like we're using words like sanctification. We're using words like holy, but we're not. You're not talking about the cleanliness of a soul. There's just no way. Based on the same thing that we already talked about before. Hey, Forrest, are you guys ready for us to come over, man? I see you in the chat there. There's no way that...
We're in the middle of something, so...
No, we can totally just wait here now, man. It's no big deal. Like, I just auto-saved. As soon as we start this game on Monday, we'll finish it.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean you don't know?
Look, what I'm saying is like, there's obvious things that are simple to understand here.
Detected.
Very simple to understand. Right?
Unmarked.
All the things that
Detected.
he says is very simple. Until we get to that section right there with the children, when he starts saying holy and unclean and clean, it's like, holy is a really powerful word. That's something that's set apart.
Yeah, but he did specify like twice already in this chapter.
Look, it's just me talking
I'm just
here.
talking to y'all.
Yeah.
But and this might have been, as with a lot of Paul's letters, this might have been something that they were debating and they were saying like, you're gonna be this way and you're this and you're that. Like a lot of his letters were also settling internal discussions that we're not privy to.
Yeah, we don't have all the context of what they had asked.
Where he was like, hey, you guys been arguing about this. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Here's what the Bible kind of says. So you know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think these. That's why I never thought it meant like you're not saved. It just meant like.
Yeah,
Maybe somebody was saying like your kids are unholy or your kids are unclean.
This is one of those things that I'm
Yeah.
just gonna have to sit on for a little bit to think about, because it's. Look, this man was incredibly educated.
I think they were
Okay.
probably just arguing.
I don't know if it's quite that simple.
I don't know.
I'm not disrespecting your opinion
But
on that.
I didn't mean for it to become this. I just was.
It's not an argument. This was
No.
a really good talk. I'm glad it became
Yeah,
this.
I didn't mean to.
It's a good thing that it became this. Okay, let's close out here, but I'll leave it at this, is that Paul was an incredibly educated man. He knew the Torah and the prophets like the back of his hand. He hung out with many, many of the disciples and first witnesses, eyewitnesses to Christ. He knew a lot of things. And that's not just his religious zealousy. He knew a lot about Roman law too. This is how he was able to work his way in and out of the courts and make his way up to King Agrippa.
He's very cultured.
This dude knew a lot of stuff. He was a very well-educated man, okay?
Oh, he knew a lot about other places in people's religions and stuff,
Yeah,
too.
he knew a lot about, the Greek mythology
Greeks,
and their poets and all that good stuff. The man, he was very well-educated. So when he writes something like this, I doubt it was just like I think we're just going to write this instead.
No.
Like, just because he says that, I didn't hear this from the Lord, this is me speaking. What he's saying is I reserve the right to be wrong. But there's another section in the Bible where Paul says this, where he's like, look, I'm speaking this, not God. And then he follows it up with, but I'm pretty sure I have the Holy Spirit. Like, you know what I mean? He's saying, like, I'm pretty sure I know a thing or two about what I'm talking about here. And so it's like, it's not something that I don't like to dismiss anything on
No,
on
but
the
I
Bible.
still don't think it's just like this means you're not saved. If you
No, I don't think it means that either. But there is certainly something that it does imply there.
Yeah.
And what exactly he's implying there to me is very important to understand. Like, and now I'm just being a Bible nerd. Does knowing and understanding this verse going to send you to heaven? No. Is it going to prevent you from getting into the afterlife? No. But to me, every verse is just so special, and I want to understand it all. So when I run across something like this, I can't help but do what we did for the past 45 minutes and just break it down into all these little microfractures to understand what it does mean, what it doesn't mean. And if you can't figure out what it does mean or doesn't mean, next what you have to figure out is, okay, what can't it mean? And then after that's done, you can say, well, what can it mean? Then you can go back to the original question and say, okay, what does it mean? And I haven't quite sifted through all the possibilities yet. And so it's kind of a tricky thing. But that was an excellent conversation. I wish we could take a little bit longer, but we're leaving Forrest and Tessa on red. And so we're going to go ahead and call this quits now and go back into a group stream here in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder if they have any thoughts or if they heard it all.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We
can
will see.
ask
They've
them.
been raising clean children, sanctified children. All right,
Both
that's it.
believers.
Both believers. All right, good talk, partner.
You're high-fiving me like I'm your bro pal.
Yeah, dog.
No.
I love you.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us.
See you later,
I'll see
guys.
you in 2 minutes.
Just a couple of minutes.